Who's presenting this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was going to say
You
who did it first.
I'll do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rap Party podcast. Can we still call it podcast?
Yeah, it still goes out as a podcast as well.
Still goes out
as a video and audio, so it's fine.
Yeah. We're also recording it on video so that you can see our beautiful faces and Callum's receding form.
And he comes back. He's coming.
He's coming back. Okay. So what we're doing today is our April wrap up.
Yes.
Sorry.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. That was really but it's fine. Yes, April wrap up. What happened in the film and television industry in April?
Not a lot.
Thank you.
Not much.
Not a whole bunch.
Yeah, not much, but there's still lots we can talk about.
Yes.
And we'll start as we always do with the film of the month.
I know what it's going to be.
What is it going to be? I don't fucking know what it's going to be.
Well, surely it's Trolls, isn't it?
Yeah,
that made loads.
I believe that was a March release.
Is that March?
I think so.
Really? I thought it was April.
Yeah.
Okay, Bloodshot. Did that come out in May?
Yeah, Bloodshot. No, we'll talk about Trolls World Tour though, because there is a lot of news about Trolls Tour as well. So we'll have a huge mix of that. Has anybody seen Trolls World Tour?
No.
I
have from the trailer. I have a distinct trying to think of the grievance with the concept.
Yeah, me too, 100%.
In that the rock trolls are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Disagree with it.
I hate the whole idea of like we need to all unite all the music in the world to go against
rock.
the rock. Yeah.
Don't like it.
Rubbish.
Do you not think that perhaps there is an end game to that?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine there probably.
The end is we're all happy together. That would be the end.
Celebrate individuality would be the message.
But
the end.
The majority of the film will be them fighting against that, and I don't.
Yeah, and with a kids' film as well, it's not every single time that they're going to remember the message. They're going to remember the fun bits.
Exactly.
The bits are going to be, oh, look at these silly rock trolls.
Yep. It's very reductive of the music as well, because they have literally divided music into 7 things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, it's only 7 types of music. We've agreed. There's only 7. No more.
Definitive ones.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a lot of salt to put in your bread, Callum.
10 grams of salt, baby. 10 grams.
Yeah, but you didn't measure that out, did you? You just tip some salt in.
It's on a weighing scale.
Oh, the thing is, the bowl. Fair enough.
And here was me thinking Callum was just throwing caution to the wind. I know he's got a system.
I've got an end game, baby.
Okay.
So
I'm bread now.
So World Tour came out on VOD the day it was meant to release in cinemas.
And that's what my grievance with it was.
Okay, fair enough.
I used to give them money if it's not in a cinema.
Yeah.
And I know, and that makes me sound really up myself, but no. No.
So that went on to cause some ripples.
Some consternation amongst the theatre and cinema industry. I don't know who did it. I think NATO came first.
Yeah.
By NATO, I mean the National American Theatre.
Not the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
The National Association of Theatre Owners. Not
the other one.
Not the army one.
Yeah, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Yes.
Brought about after World War II.
They came out at AMC Theatres, who own Odeon here in the UK.
Yes.
They both made statements saying that Universal came out first and said, "Oh, we had a really good release. That's made us a lot of money. We might consider doing it again in the future."
Yeah.
To which huge numbers of people are now very annoyed.
Yep.
So AMC Theatres have said that they are not going to show any more Universal films in their cinemas if they carry on like that. If they do that with more releases. I think they want this like release immediately on VOD to be a coronavirus lockdown only, a one-off event rather than the new norm.
Yep.
Do we
then
say what do we think about that?
Well, Cineworld then followed.
Yes, Cineworld who also announced it.
Who also own Regal Theatres in America.
Now.
So that's the two biggest theatre companies in America and the two biggest in Europe, both doing that.
So I'm personally looking forward to seeing No Time to Die in View Cinema.
Yeah, true. Forgot about we can still go to View.
Yeah, View's now going to be the place to go for a Universal film.
I think what's happened is both sides have been very rash.
Yeah.
Like there's not either side isn't to blame. I think both sides have reacted poorly to what's happened.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I'll be honest, there's a lot of dick waving at the moment.
It is.
More than anything. It's like, no, we can stop showing your films in theatres. You know?
Yeah.
We can do that. We have that power.
Don't go thinking that this is going to be the new normal.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the new normal because it happened during a particular time.
Yeah. I think the fact of the matter is, though, like obviously we look at it as cinephiles. I think that these number crunchers have actually been hoping for something like this for a very long time. I think they wanted a kind of out because World Tour has helped solidify their suspicions that they have a hell of a lot of money to be made just from home releases. And
the big deal with home releases is that Universal themselves get to keep more of the profit made. I think
despite them making more.
Yeah, so it's an 80-20 split in Universal's favour of the profits, whereas with theatres they only get about 50%.
Yeah.
Would they have made this much money if the cinemas were normal and they released World Tour?
I think they still would have made 100 million if the cinemas are open.
Yeah.
Quite. Well, it still would have made the same amount of money.
Release for kids, definitely.
Yeah.
I think they priced it really high as well, and I guess families will pay anything to keep their kids entertained for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're in lockdown.
Yeah. And I think the real question is, would people have paid more to take their kids out for a big day out at the cinema in order to do the same thing? Because at the end of the day, when you take children to see a kid's film, it is about keeping them distracted for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think if everything was fine, they would.
I think given the choice, you would take them to the cinema rather than keep them in the house.
But I think that comes down to the costs.
Yeah.
Because the average ticket price in America is about $9, and here it's about 10 to 11, depending on that's the average across the country.
Yeah.
So say you've got 2 kids, family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids. That's 40 quid on tickets. Then the kids are probably going to bother their parents for popcorn or drinks or whatever. If you don't bring your own, which you can. But if they do that, that's what then £7 per person for popcorn and drink, roughly. That's probably being a bit conservative.
Or 10.
That's another, maybe closer to 10. So that's 80 quid for a family of 4.
Whereas at home, you go to the shop, you buy a couple of fucking bags of popcorn. You come home, you rent the film for 15 quid. You know, that's 20 quid.
20 quid for 4
all
of you.
in. Yeah.
Which is why I watched a video about it the other day. Film Theory did the offshoot of Game Theory, the YouTube channel, did a video about this, and quite an extensive one. If you want more like number crunchy detail, then head over there. But he said that this was probably always going to happen, the VOD transition, and the first films to go were going to be family films.
Yeah,
always, because they're the films that'll happen with the big blockbuster films. People want an event, so they go to the cinema, and the more arty, not arty, but the more cinema-based films, they're adults going to see that. They're always going to go to the cinema over VOD. So it was probably an inevitability this was going to happen, but this has accelerated the process tenfold.
I think I would argue it's not going to drive people away from cinemas more. It's going to split.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a lot of family films going straight to on demand. Yeah. I mean,
to be fair, in the statement that Universal released, they said They still believe in the theatrical experience.
Oh, definitely.
And then it's something like, it's a very vague sentence they say, and then releasing. It doesn't say same day release. It doesn't specify same day release.
I think they said releasing on demand at the appropriate time,
which could mean the normal release, which is now about 2 to 3 months now.
Yeah,
because it's so short. Or it could mean they haven't outrightly said they're going to do same day releases. To be fair,
but any toe in that direction is going to bring it. I mean, it is going to limit income for cinemas.
Yes. So therefore, they're going to react.
It's 100% that cinemas aren't getting for each film that they do that with, for example.
Yeah. So the cinemas have come out and tried to hold them over a barrel a little bit and said, "Hang on, we can, we've got power too." Essentially.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's like a really poorly negotiated contract done over a Zoom call is what is happening behind the doors.
Yeah.
It's just really poorly done. They're not really talking about it. They're sort of just wild gesturing.
Yeah. I think what we really need to see is another similar film going.
It needs to happen again.
But it needs to release in cinemas and on demand at the same time.
Yeah.
And they need to look at the numbers from that and see what audiences really want.
Yeah. So what's the next kids film?
Peter Rabbit's.
Oh, Peter Rabbit 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't go to VOD.
Yeah. Yeah, given it's sort of like connected to Easter.
Yeah.
You thought they would have just released it at Easter rather than now not and put it out in whenever.
No, definitely.
It's November now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that will be. If they were to, was that Universal? It is Universal, isn't it?
Sony.
Like Sony, okay. Sony won't do that.
I don't think Universal had one more film this year on the new UK release list I looked at. I can't even remember what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, the biggest studio industry has changed a lot in the last year. Given it's gone down from 6 to 5. Well, Fox still exists, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, it's like a subsidiary now, isn't it?
Yeah, so it doesn't really exist as its own thing. So there's now only 5 big studio companies. Universal being the second biggest after Disney.
Yeah.
Are they?
I think so. Still, I think they're still because they released pretty much DVD releases are everything's released under Universal. It's mad.
Yeah, that's true. They do have distribution, right?
Yeah, distribution. They make most of their money out of distribution more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I do apologise for all my moving around and noise making, by the way.
It's all right. It's fine.
I've been trying to find my headphones to try and localise the sound, and I've just finally found it. Just that second. So.
And then Paramount are sort of fumbling a little bit.
A little bit.
Now that they've lost what was Mission Impossible was going to be their only real money maker, and that's now been pushed back.
Yeah.
And apparently heavily reworked due to the content, apparently. I think maybe the plot had something to do with a virus. So I think they've had to rethink it. But not much. I don't know. That was a rumor.
Haven't they already done that in Mission Impossible?
Oh, yeah, but come on, they've done everything in Mission Impossible. They just make it better.
Yeah.
The new films are just the old films, but done better.
I like that.
Fairly true, actually.
Yeah, the concepts are still pretty similar. They're just done in a far better way.
So good.
So, I mean, Paramount have been in trouble for the last couple of years anyway. So, Mission Impossible is the only thing that's sort of helped them stay afloat. Because there was rumours of Disney buying Paramount a couple of years ago. That was a thing that might have happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going to happen now because that'd be insane. But
yeah, Disney's Mission Impossible does not excite me.
No.
Me neither.
Mickey Mouse doing a base jump, just.
Oh, that's cool. I'm alright with that.
That would be cool. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy Mission Impossible. Yeah, and I'd watch that.
I would hang up for that.
But yeah, so that's the current situation. Not much has come out other than like a few articles saying what happened. Nothing more has really come of it yet. Nothing official has happened yet.
People are making more of it than they actually need to, because there's nothing else to do at the moment.
Yeah, cinema chains have got nothing to do except try and negotiate contracts.
Yeah.
Try and get more money in the future to make up for this time.
I'd like family films to go to VOD, so then kids aren't annoying
in the
me
cinemas. Yeah.
Yeah, but if kids aren't in the cinemas, then the money isn't being paid.
Yeah, because it's one of the biggest earners, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it goes. There's not much.
It's a rock and a hard place at the moment, and only time will tell. Ultimately,
in that same video I watched, there was speculation about cinemas becoming like, basically, we've already got like multiplexes. The sort of speculation was that it's going to be like megaplexes, in that there's going to be like almost stadium-sized screenings, that sort of thing.
Ooh.
Or cinema's going to come more like theatre, in that you have to pay like 50, 60 quid. Yeah, well, it said if it continues like this, it's all speculation.
Yeah.
It's saying if this trend was to continue, all these things were to become true, then to make money, cinemas would have to charge that amount.
Yeah.
To make any money.
Do up a multiplex is to have as many screens as you can, so you can show as many different.
And they said basically like small cinemas are just going to go. They're just, I mean, they're already arguably on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have been forever.
But now if this carries on like this, that's it. It's only going to be big chain cinemas, and that'll be it. There'll be no independent cinemas whatsoever.
Apart from
that will suck.
Yeah. Apart from those that are supported by their local, like.
Overlords.
Yeah, whatever they are. So that was like, if this continues. It's unlikely, but if it was to continue down this same line, then that's likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But who knows at this point? It's all up in the air.
Oh, definitely. I think we'll have to see how the reopening goes.
Yeah. That's true.
I think it'll eventually be fine. It will eventually.
Yeah, but there's going to be some.
It's gonna be a long
rocky road.
Yeah, 100%.
If you look at the film release for the UK, distribution companies seem to think we'll be back in July.
Yeah, I think people are like.
First major film is Tenet.
Tenet,
yeah. And then Mulan
the big flagpole return, yeah.
I mean, Tenet's it's going to be big, but it's not. I mean, Christopher Nolan films do well. Don't get me wrong, but they don't do extraordinarily well.
No, but it's like
One did 500 million worldwide.
Yeah, true.
Which I'd say is fairly good.
Which one was that? Which did 500?
Dunkirk.
But there's Dunkirk. You've got the war film sort of draw.
Yeah.
I mean,
whereas Tenet is a bit more conceptual.
Yeah, I mean, Interstellar did like 700 million worldwide. Inception did 800. So.
But it's a slow burn. They don't do that in their opening weekend.
Yeah, and also
they stay in cinemas for a while.
Campaigns are a lot bigger as well than Tenet's.
Yeah, Tenet's been a bit more It's been a bit more subtle. I've not seen big. Dunkirk was fucking everywhere.
It was, yeah.
Whereas Tenet, if you're not looking out for it, you may not see it.
Yeah, hopefully that ramps up though. If it's
really the first big release, they might push it.
They might ramp it. Yeah. Here's hoping. Yeah. Buzzing for that film, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. But I think we are in that. It's very much a cinephile thing that we're looking forward to. It's not like everyone's excited about Tenet. It's more of a.
I would probably agree with that. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, as soon as the lockdown's lifted, I'm going to go and make sure that everyone's excited about Tenet.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when the cinemas do reopen, like what films do they show? Do they show the films that were showing? Do they show the films that because nothing's coming out? So what happens that first day?
They're going to have to talk to distributors about it, because all the the licenses that they've got to show all the films they had before lockdown will have run out.
Exactly.
So they need to renegotiate licenses for any films that they want to put on. And they'll want new films to draw in audiences. So they're going to say, what have you got that you can pull forward?
Yeah, because no companies know when it's going to lift. So they're not going to put a date in. So that'd be silly.
If they're sensible, they will coordinate a good opening day.
Yeah.
It'll be a Friday, and there will be a big film to open with.
Yeah.
It'll be like they're looking at like Mulan and Tenet to be the big.
Yeah, true. Mulan was pushed back,
releases. Yeah, they're looking to do those two first.
Yeah, especially in China.
Yeah, totally.
Because that was already billed to be one of the biggest, highest-earning non-Chinese films in China of the year.
Yeah.
And China also missed out on their when the lockdown first happened was Chinese New Year, where the Chinese film theater industry makes a lot of their money is made in those 3 weeks of Chinese New Year, because it's basically a big long holiday in China. No one really does anything. So most of them release their films in that period and make most of their money. So that's when you look at the overall international gross of the year. If you look just after Chinese New Year, half of them are Chinese movies because of that. And then they most of them peter off as bigger Western films come in. But that's usually how it works. So the Chinese cinema industry has really been hit hard because they missed all of that.
Yeah.
And they're the second biggest market now, nearly the first.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, this is the thing, right? In terms of different art forms, film is obviously the hardest to maintain. Obviously, the musicians can continue creating music, artists can continue creating art, but obviously, our industry can't continue making
it's a collaborative
films.
thing.
It's such a collaborative process, of course. So, yeah, of course, it's going to be a different beast altogether than any other form of art. But I think the love and passion for film,
will still come through.
Even that normal people have. I think everyone loves a film. They love going to the cinema.
And people are just going to want to go out.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they're going to care what they see.
Yeah.
Go out and not have to talk to the person you've been with for the last however many months.
Yeah. People can't wait to get into the cinema to use their phone.
Yeah. Can't wait to update their Snapchat and
crinkle their sweet wrappings.
They're so excited to do it. I think the landscape's going to change, but the passion will remain the same.
Yeah, one article that I've read basically said films suffered worse than this. You had
World War II.
Yeah, World War II. Television.
Yeah, television. When it came about, that really
production of television. Before that, cinema was the only place people could go to see film.
And so far, it's survived Netflix.
Yeah,
it's still a competitor.
Yeah, so it's all new, but we're still going to have cinemas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cinemas are always going to exist. They're going to exist. Yeah. They may change how they operate, but they're still going to exist.
Yeah. Right, let's talk about something else for a bit.
Something funner, something less businessy.
What have people been watching?
Well, the end of this week ended the run of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Finally,
still haven't finished that. Still haven't got around to it.
I'll be honest, and Sam, I don't know what you'll think of this. I wasn't really enjoying it. I kind of liked the first episode. I liked the setup and everything, and then after a while, I was like, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this. But the last 3 episodes, I was like, okay, I'm into it now. This is cool. The last 3 episodes really ramp up in a really great way.
I think it's episode 5 to me, which is the weakest episode.
Which one's that again?
The night one where he helps the other bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just because it was I didn't really get what the story was meant to be there for. It felt kind of just like a filler episode.
A placeholder.
I'd say the last 2 episodes are the best.
The fact there's a filler episode in an 8-episode series isn't good.
No, exactly. And the thing is, I understand what they were going for, because they were trying to hark back to a era of television that was more episodic, every episode was its own story, or its own adventure. And I like the idea, but I think now I'm so used to long form storytelling.
Yeah.
That I'm just kind of like I just don't,
unless they're completely different, like a Black Mirror or something, where they're
exactly
completely unrelated.
Anthology or whatever. Yeah,
that's completely different. Whereas if it's set the same characters in the same world, but they're not, it just you feel a bit lost.
Yeah,
agreed. They have an overarching story though, and it's just at some points they seem to just completely forget that they have it, and then do that like episode 5, do them one-off story.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I did.
And at the end go, oh, hold on, we're back onto the overarching, and it's very much of a are we overarching or are we separate? They haven't like got that balance of separate while or overarching.
The last 2 episodes did do that. The last 2 episodes are like a double header, like the one ends on a cliffhanger, and then the next one starts, and you're like, oh god, the story's
continuing. Well, the second series has already been finished, isn't it?
Second series, and the third series has been announced. So they're going for the long haul, and it's a good show, man. It's a good show. I especially the last 2 episodes really like sold my my passion for it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this. In the future, I'm going to continue watching it, but it did take me a long while to feel that way.
And it served as a good launch as well for the platform.
It's the first Star Wars live action they're learning as a franchise on what to do and where to take it. So I think every episode will get better.
Yeah, I did the first 2 episodes and I forgot about it. Just didn't go back to it. I probably will.
I would recommend going back to it just for the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I will. I just
Taika Waititi directed the last episode, and it's really great.
Well, he was in the first one. I was really excited when that happened.
In the first one, yeah. he comes back as well. So
okay.
And what's the other thing? Bill Burr. Bill Burr is in an episode.
Bill Burr. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. On top of that, what have I watched? The show. Did anyone watch The Midnight Gospel?
No. What's that?
I've heard of it.
It's fucking fantastic. It's fucking fantastic. So basically, it's an animated show. I think they Netflix sort of greenlit it off of the back of the success of Rick and Morty. They thought, oh yeah, we can try and replicate that success. What they have done is basically could be referred to as the anti-Rick and Morty. It's basically this character is in space and he has a podcast, otherwise known as a space cast.
Okay.
And he travels from planet to planet interviewing people for his space cast. So as an example, the first episode, he goes to Earth and he interviews the President of the United States during a zombie apocalypse, right? The visuals of the zombie apocalypse are completely irrelevant to what they're talking about.
Okay.
It's just like a weird background thing that you just like basically like sometimes the visuals are so striking and so weird and funny that you can't actually pay attention to what they're talking about.
Sure.
But I listened to this. I watched this one episode while I was washing up, and I couldn't concentrate on the screen so much because I was washing up at the same time, which forced me to listen to it more. And I was like, bloody hell, what they're talking about is so interesting. It's really good. It's really fucking good, man. And it's really like trippy. You wouldn't want to be on fucking acid when you watched it, I tell you. It's crazy. It's really good. It's worth a watch.
Like The Midnight Gospel, for those who forgot.
On Netflix, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Brilliant.
Fair enough.
And the last episode made me cry as well, which I wasn't expecting based on the kind of tone of the rest of the show. Didn't expect to cry in the last episode, but I did. Yeah, that's that. Afterlife came out. Anyone watch that?
Yep, I've not finished it yet. I'm like got 1 episode left.
Yeah,
I've watched most of it. It's funny. It's the first series.
Continuation, yep.
It's more. I don't know. I think we talked about this last time, didn't we, Ken?
I don't know.
I think we've talked about it at some point.
Well,
maybe not recorded though.
We talked about Ricky Gervais in the British sitcom.
Oh, we did. No, we did. That's what we talked about. We have talked about this before. In that,
talked about Afterlife as a series.
Yeah.
Everyone's sucking off The Office's cock or something.
Oh yeah, Sam, we got some bones. What on earth was your list?
Amazing.
That was
You had
insane.
the Midnight Beast on it, man.
The Midnight Beast.
Fear of the Beast.
Couldn't believe that came out of nowhere. I couldn't believe you put that on your list.
What about How Not to Live Your Life?
That one, like, I knew of, and I didn't have a visceral, horrible reaction to it. When it was on, it was probably okay. But Midnight Beast, I remember generally making me feel ill. And I saw them live, and it was one of the worst nights of my life. Well, the night was all right, but they were dreadful.
Yeah. Friday Night Dinner finished, since we're talking about last episode. We had the final episode.
How was it?
Friday.
Well, yeah, they're always on Friday, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the show wouldn't really work. They'd have to change the title, and then the whole concept would.
Yeah, exactly.
It just wouldn't work. Yeah, it ended, and yeah, that was it.
I assume it sort of ended with no real conclusion of this is going to carry on, even though we're not seeing it anymore.
Yes, that was the conclusion, but
yeah,
it ended with the two boys basically have to grow up now.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
It was like it was a turning point for them as characters, and it was like if we came back, it wouldn't really be the same.
Yeah,
after this one,
it's going to change a bit. Yeah.
Without trying to give
I like it when TV shows end and you can sort of the world you enjoyed you can still believe will exist without you.
Yeah.
Some TV shows just end and you're like, well, nothing exciting is going to happen from now on.
Yeah.
Whereas I like TV shows that are like, oh, but I can see the world still existing and I can see it happening beyond our viewing of it. I like that when TV shows that.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with a lot of American sitcoms, when they end, you're like, oh, none of these people are going to see each other again. They're completely like the end of Friends, where they like turn the light off in the flat and stuff. I'm like, well, what the fuck happens now?
How I Met Your Mother and stuff like that.
Similar, yeah.
They very much close the door.
Yeah.
Literally in Friends.
Literally close the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it when shows.
I'll be honest, Friends. I don't think I feel the same way about the end of Friends. I think the end, like the last line in Friends, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just because
it's appropriate ending
I do
for
like
the
show. The idea that things carry on though. Like
similarly, carry on, just not in that house.
I know.
You know,
but you know what I mean.
Like the ending of Friends is they all go and get coffee. Like, come on.
True.
That's very true.
That's beyond.
But it's probably the last cup of coffee they had as a group.
Is it?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
They'll still see each other.
Small amounts of them would have met up and had coffee. Like 2 of them would, or 3 of them would.
Yeah.
But from that point onward, I don't think all 6 of them did.
Okay. Until
the reunion.
To anyone who's been watching the video cast, if you're watching the video cast right now, I have just completed the dough. That's done. That's needed as much as it needs to be. So that goes now. It goes in here, and it's going to go in there for about an hour, right?
So
it's going to rise. And once it rises, that's when I will then proceed to bake the bread, which I will then take a picture of, send it to Sam so he can put it on the official Wrap Party Instagram channel.
Like I'm becoming a crossover baking channel. I'm up for that.
Brilliant.
I'm still here. I'm just washing my hands.
I'm trying to think what I've been watching. I think since we recorded last, I finished my Marvel rewatch. I think. Yes, I did. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
There were films that I remember, like when we ranked them, I've been like, I don't really like it. I've rewatched them and went, you know what? They're all right.
Yeah,
every single Marvel film is all right.
Yeah, like
at the very least.
Like there are the weaker ones, but there's ones that I thought I didn't like that I do.
I felt that exact way with Iron Man 2 when I watched it the other day. I was like, you know what? Like,
it's all right.
It's all right. Like, there's some pretty good stuff in this.
There's some redeeming features.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was nice.
I want Sam Rockwell to come back.
Yeah, well, there is teasers of that. Apparently,
that'll be good.
Hammer has been sort of seen in different things. Well,
his company
the bad
is
guy
still
from
floating around.
The bad guys from this is relevant. From Iron Man 3, you know, AIM, the Guy Pearce's company. There's a shot in the Black Widow movie where she's on an operating table and one of the machines has got AIM written on it.
Ooh, that's a prequel, isn't
it? Mm-hmm.
Technically a prequel, yeah.
Or
like
prequel, so
but it means that AIM were like still
that
doing
thing.
stuff.
Yeah,
well,
that was
it's
definitely after the events of Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
I think.
And the actual Mandalorian, which is going to be who's going to be in Shang-Chi, because that's also a connection.
When you say Mandalorian, do you mean
not Mandalorian?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're similar words.
Love it. The Mandalorian.
There's crossovers and then there's crossovers.
That'd
right?
be insane. But yes,
the Mandalorian would get his ass kicked though, wouldn't he? Like the Mandalorian is when it comes to fighting, he gets thrown around like a rag doll.
Yeah, because Shang-Chi is basically about the Ten Rings, which is the organization that he's in charge of. So they're bringing stuff back from like the early days that they probably planned and sort of thought would be the future, but then probably fell away. Like the Ten Rings were probably going to be more relevant than they thought they were, and they went, okay, we're going to sideline that, do this, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah,
so I think that's what's happened.
Good they have.
Yeah, because the Iron Man trilogy is pretty much about that. Like it's ultimately from beginning to end, it's about him getting captured at the beginning and then him defeating the people who captured him at the end. Like it's basically about that.
Right.
The second one's a bit of an anomaly in there, but it still has some connection.
Yeah. Speaking of Marvel crossovers and whatever, did anyone see this interview with Charlie Cox the other day?
I did. Good interview. It's a good interview.
Yeah, he seems to believe that if Daredevil is going to come up in Spider-Man 3, it's not going to be his Daredevil. It's going to be a different.
He's
Daredevil.
heard nothing. He's either a very good liar.
This is what I'm asking you. Do you think he's lying? Because he has got a massive fan base. But then again, so did did Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man have a big fan base?
Not really. Not enough.
Not big enough.
No.
I think there's a lot of rumors milling around about him being in Spider-Man 3 as Daredevil or as. I think from what I've heard is he's not going to be in. If the Daredevil character is in there, he's not going to be Daredevil. He's going to be lawyer.
Yeah, Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Probably depends.
The theory right now is that he's going to be the lawyer that represents Spider-Man in his court case that eventually he's going to come down on him because he murdered Mysterio.
But then everyone's going to come down
and other people.
Like, you said you weren't going to be Daredevil in this one, and he's like,
I wasn't.
Daredevil,
I was Matt Murdock.
So what I said was true.
But what I really want to happen is he be that lawyer, and then the lawyer that's against him is She-Hulk. She's also a lawyer. Yeah. But the She-Hulk's already confirmed as a series, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But not for a while.
No, it's a future Disney Plus one, but it's already confirmed.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for.
Moon Knight and
Moon Knight. I'm pumped for. They could throw Daredevil into Moon Knight real easy.
Yeah.
Because they're very similar characters.
I think Charlie Cox is just going to be in every single Marvel project.
I want him to be because he's the best Daredevil. Well, there's only been 2 screen Daredevils, apart from animated ones, but he's still the best.
It's not much of a competition, I'll be honest.
And there were talks about putting Iron Fist into Shang-Chi eventually, but they said they'd probably recast him.
Yeah, that was terrible. Iron Fist
again, because the concept of the character is fun. They just didn't cast it very well.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. The idea of like a really strong fist, pretty cool. And would work in the Shang-Chi sort of universe. The sort of martial arts based Asian influence.
Hell yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm really hoping they get. I don't know who the director is. They got a director for Shang-Chi yet? They must do because they were going to start filming.
It's Destin Daniel Cretton. They've already filmed it.
They've already filmed it.
Yeah, man. I was.
I thought they were like.
They had to halt a bit of production for Corona, but I think it was basically like reshoots.
Pickups.
Yeah, when I was in when 1917 came out, and I went to see it in the IMAX. A guy that was sat behind me worked on the production. I was earwigging him, and he was like, it's already all done."
So who was the director?
Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Short Term 12.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for like someone who's got like done like really good martial arts based films. But
ultimately, we wanted Gareth Evans of the Raid fame.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. In my mind, I'm like, that would be the perfect.
Yeah.
Well, he's been quite busy making Gangs of London.
Yeah, well, he only directed one episode of that though.
Okay.
He's the showrunner behind it, isn't he?
Oh, okay. So he directed one, but
showrunner.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the whole project is his baby.
I see. And he's led it out to other directors. Okay.
Has anyone watched it?
No.
I tried, and I love Gareth Evans. I love all his films. I tried and I failed. I got about half an hour into the first episode and I was like, oh, not really digging this. Went on to Devs instead at your request.
My request.
At your request.
I begged you in earnest.
You begged me. I was buzzing to watch it anyway, but once you told me how good it was, I immediately started watching it.
Well, I would be cautious about saying it's good, but yeah.
Well,
I loved it.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
No.
Like I know of some people, I imagine them sitting down to watch this, and I cannot picture their face.
Yeah. I kind of agree. My mum watched it with me, and she was enjoying it as well. She thought it was really good. And one really great moment was in the last episode. Things are starting to wrap up a little bit, and you're like, "Oh God!" Like we're starting to figure out what's going on or whatever. And the pace kind of slows down, and every moment of the last episode is drawn out because time is running out, and it's kind of like a nice juxtaposition. And I was sitting there going like, oh wow, this is really cool, like how they've really slowed this down, that the tempo's really come down. And my mum sat next to me and she goes, getting a bit slow, isn't it? And I'm oh for fuck's sake, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is this is Devs, which is available on BBC iPlayer. Very good show.
Written and directed by Alex Garland of Ex Machina and Annihilation fame, as well as Sunshine and 28 Days Later. He's written and directed every single episode of this 8-episode series. And it's a sci-fi series. It delves into many interesting science fiction.
Really? A science fiction thing that delves into things? It's like he's not got a track record for that. That's very much his wheelhouse, isn't it?
He's very much a thinker. It's good, man. It's good. It's definitely worth a watch.
What it does is it doesn't really spend too much time on the sci.
More the fi.
It gives you the sci, and then it gives you a really great fi.
Let's dive into some fi.
Yeah.
There's an episode where they really get into the sci. The episode when they go to the house and she explains the sci, which is really cool. But yeah, mostly.
I mean, by that point, you've already pretty much figured it out. I think that's what's really good about it. They don't overly explain it until later on.
Yeah, the last episode.
They let you work it out for yourself. By the time it comes to properly explaining it, you're too busy focusing on character development.
Yeah, for sure. The last episode is a bit of an exposition dump, but it's done well, it's so enjoyable and good, and the characters are so good that you accept it. A moment in episode 2 when they, I won't spoil it, but when they look at the screen and they see a certain image, actually gave me goosebumps. I was like, what? That's mad. That's so cool. Love it. Yeah, really great.
What else I've been watching?
Another thing to add on to that, it's sci-fi, but it's also philosophical as well.
Yeah, again, as with all his other.
Yes, I think it's important to note that he is going to throw some weighty questions at you.
Yeah.
And you are going to have to think about it.
Yeah, I recently watched Ex Machina with a room full of teenagers, which is, I know it sounds weird, but it's part of my employment. And none of them fucking got it.
Oh man, Ex Machina
I think they got it, but they didn't like the end.
Well, why not?
Even though the end is perfect.
What's wrong with
that? They didn't want the bad, because it's a bad ending, isn't it? It's not a bad ending, but it's a melancholic ending.
Downbeat, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and they don't like that. Young people don't want sad endings. That's what I've heard.
Don't they? They're pussies.
Yeah.
Some did try and understand it and attempted it, but a lot of them just dismiss it.
Yeah.
They don't even attempt to understand it.
No, they're probably taking the wrong course then.
I mean, I'm not allowed to say, but
the other show that's very similar. I don't know if anyone's checked it out. I've only seen the first episode so far. It's interesting. Is Tales from the Loop from Amazon Prime. A lot of big names involved, not only in front of camera but behind also. We have people like Mark Romanek, who directed 1 Hour Photo and Never Let Me Go. So he's delved into that kind of sort of melancholic sci-fi before. We also have Matt Reeves, who's produced it, of the Planet of the Apes sequels fame. It's really good. It's really good. It's not quite as enjoyable as Devs. It's a bit more dour and downbeat and slower, but it's really cool.
I haven't heard magnificent things about Tales from the Loop.
I would be quick to suggest it. It's very beautiful.
If you've got the time.
I've only seen the first episode.
Well, nothing but
if you got the time. Right? Yeah, if you got the time.
So you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Right, what have I? We watched Dead Man's. We're doing a Pirates of the Caribbean watch through.
Oh, nice. Are you doing what I'm doing? I've got a dice. I roll.
Oh no, we just decided. We just went.
Yeah, because my dice is working against me, man. I've only watched 2 Marvel movies, and I'm already on Cars.
No, we're sort of picking series and watching them. So we did Marvel, and now we moved on to.
I think we'd get sick of the same series if we did that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I just watched Dead Man's Chest, and I haven't watched it in a while. And it's only reaffirmed that it's this fucking great. It's good. It's really fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I said
when we voted it our best, was it our best live action Disney movie?
No. Muppets
number
Christmas
2.
Carol is our best live.
It was number 2, wasn't it? It was up there.
Yeah, it was up there definitely.
It deserves to be.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's really fucking good, and it has a really sad ending. I forgot the ending was like fuck.
I love the ending.
Yeah, the ending's brilliant.
Yeah, I love the ending. I remember in cinema, I just it fucking blew me away.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I think we saw it together because I have a vague recollection of seeing it together.
We did.
When Barbosa came back, I was like, fucking what? That was like a Marvel end film before they even thought about that.
The third one, I think, is I enjoy
the third one for its pirate lore.
Right.
I really enjoy they establish a lot of the lore, and which I have read books about pirates as a child, so that's why I like that. But I can understand from a filmic point of view, it's not brilliant. But there's a lot of references to existing mythologies and characters and real pirates, so I really liked it for that.
See, my thing with the third one is that I really like it, but it doesn't fuck about a lot.
It does there's a lot of fucking about.
They could trim out a lot of that.
They were writing the script as they were filming it and making it up. That was why it was so.
Yeah.
They gave themselves the time that the film had to be released without having the script, and then they had to just start fucking filming without a script.
Yeah.
And it shows. It really shows.
Yeah. If they'd spent a proper amount of time on it and not fucked around in the plot.
I haven't rewatched it yet for a while, but going to eventually because we're doing a rewatch. I think we're going to stop at 3. I'm not sure we're going to go any further.
Well, it's long as well.
It's true.
2.5 hours or something.
The first one, when it was 2.5 hours, I went, no. Because I remember as a child just watching it a lot and not even thinking this is long. I was like, let's just watch it.
Whizzes past. The first one's a whizzer.
Yeah. The second one takes a little bit longer to get going, but the second one's just really the action scenes in the second one are just fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
They're funny but also just good action sequences.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I've been rewatching recently.
See, I reaffirmed my belief that The Incredibles is a really good Pixar film.
Oh, it is. No, it is.
I think we got Pixar 3 times in a row when we rolled this.
I mean, it's a lot of it. A lot of Disney Plus is Pixar.
Yeah. Toy Story 2, the best Toy Story.
Indeed.
Toy Story 1's actually a little bit boring.
Yeah, but I think that they were limited by the technology.
And it's not that. And that's not that it's a bad film. It's just in retrospect, it's like, okay.
But because that was the first amazing set pieces, but ultimately Toy Story 2 is better.
Yeah.
The Al's Toy Barn stuff in the second one is just brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
And Woody's Roundup is great.
Yeah. Oh, the best scene, the fixing of Woody scene.
Yeah,
Oof.
so good. It's like ASMR for the eye.
Yeah. We're probably are going to do a Pixar one eventually.
We've got some new technology. We're going to show it off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look at this.
Yeah, because Toy Story 1 was like the first venture into full-length 3D anime, and that was like they had to sort of. But it's still fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Probably going to start a Pixar rewatch eventually.
Yeah. I don't think A Bug's Life gets enough love.
I fucking love it. We've watched that. We just watched that. We didn't watch it for a watch through. We just went. We haven't got it on DVD.
But from audiences in general, I don't think so, because it's sandwiched between Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. People forget about it.
But it's hilarious.
Fantastic. Yeah. I love that film.
It is.
It is good.
Us four blokes here just talking about how good Bug's Life is. Brilliant.
And the story about Kevin Spacey. It's also a story about Kevin Spacey exploiting things smaller than him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It works.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was so broken up that we won't have to do anything. Just leave it. Even if it was something disgusting, no one's understood what he said, but we all know what he said.
Tell you what else I've watched recently.
Go on.
A new film, an release.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this is the Netflix film Extraction.
Okay.
Starring Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How is it?
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Good.
Good. I think they marketed it based on one unbroken 17-minute action scene.
Yeah, and the rest of
that scene is fucking incredible, but the rest of the film is very so-so. It's the most formulaic action film I've seen in recent times.
Fair enough.
If you don't include Six Underground, which
fuck Six Underground, man.
Mate, you can't say anything bad about that. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, best film ever.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with Six Underground, my dad really enjoyed it.
What?
One of those films. It's a dad film.
It's your dad.
It's a dad film, though.
Dads enjoy weird films. Their opinion is not regarded because they enjoy peculiar things.
Yes, but dads are a huge portion of Netflix subscribers.
They are. Therefore, they keep making these films.
To produce things like this. They're probably getting a lot of views of this film. And they'll get views of this one as well. It's like the action's all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, that 17-minute unbroken take. As soon as that's finished, you can probably flip the film off, and you're not going to miss anything.
Fair enough.
You pretty much know how the film's going to end.
Yeah. Someone gets extracted.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it.
Some amount of extraction happens in some context.
Yeah. It's very formulaic, but you don't really mind. Like you're not there for the
bit mind-numbing.
Yeah.
You need that now and again.
It's very much a solid 3-star film.
Right.
Like you can feel the producers going, yeah, we're going to get 3 stars for this.
And
they're ticking off all of the 3-star qualities. It's ridiculous.
The producers were the Russo brothers, weren't they? And speaking of them, they also produced obviously 21 Bridges, which came out on Amazon Prime the same week as Extraction. Has anyone seen that? Because I haven't seen either.
I saw 21 Bridges in the cinema.
Wow, you got it.
Is it worth a watch?
It's better than Extraction.
Okay.
And I think Chadwick Boseman is a really good actor. He does well in this one. And it's a lot more sort of pulsy, thrillery vibe to it. There's not as much action, but like the pace is
the action is purposeful.
Yeah.
You feel the action is needed. It's not just there to entertain you. It's like driving the story.
There's a really nice sort of twisty, noirish vibe to it.
That's what I got from the trailers.
Yeah. I would give it a 4 stars. I think most places gave it a 3.
Okay.
I put it up because it's my kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I think it worked hard to not be as generic as a lot of people said it was. So I would if you're going to choose between one of these two films, it's 21 Bridges.
That's 21 Bridges. Okay, that's advice of the week.
Yeah.
Advice of the week.
Go to 21 Bridges.
Yeah, watch 21 Bridges. skip forward to about 40 minutes in to Extraction.
Okay.
Watch that 17-minute take. You don't need context to it.
No.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Extraction has the better action, I think. But 21 Bridges wasn't going for action.
Yeah.
Just has it.
No. Yeah. It's just there.
Yeah. What? It's worth watching. 21 Bridges. Go for it.
I like the feature advice of the week. I think that's something we should delve into.
Advice of the week.
Someone should just pop up a quick video, just saying what people should watch at home.
Yeah,
just live stream it to the YouTube or something.
We could do that. Yeah,
that'd be funny. That'd be good.
Advice of the week. Let's get David recording of that and just make that the intro.
Well, no, if we all harmonise it together now,
that's not going to happen.
That is not going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Ready, everybody? Ready.
Right, you say let's harmonise. Do any of us know how to do that?
Well, no, we'll just do it all at the same time. Ready?
That's not harmonising, is it? That's just singing at the same time.
Okay, I'll go low. Sam can go high.
I'll go high. I'm good at high.
Callum can go high. I can go quite low.
Okay.
And I'll go middle then.
That's also not what harmonising is.
All right. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How are we pronouncing advice? Are we doing advice or advice?
All right. What is it again?
Advice.
Well, is it advice or advice? There's slightly different pronunciations.
Advice.
Advice. Not advice.
Advice.
Okay. Just getting the A sound right.
Advice. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Advice. Right. The delay. We can't do it. The delay's mental.
One more.
It's not going to work.
3, 2, 1.
Advice of the week. Yeah, because we can't do it because there's a delay. Yeah.
If we timed our delays correctly, though.
What do you mean, time our delays?
See, there's a reason I never got you guys to do Film of the Month with me.
Yeah, and that was when we were in the room together.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Anyway,
right, so that's our advice of the week. If you're going to watch an action-y sort of film that's been released in this week in the same week by the same producers, then you pick 21 Bridges.
Yeah.
There we go. Very specific advice.
That is very specific advice.
But it's advice nonetheless.
Segment. Advice. All right, carry on.
Has there ever been a good film that's been released that the marketing is from producer and not from director?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
That was Tim Burton produced but not directed. That's the first one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, brilliant.
From Dusk Till Dawn was produced by Quentin Tarantino but not directed.
The first one that pops into my mind, which is
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, Natural Born Killers.
That's both though. That's combo.
Mine is the adverse. Mine is a terrible film that tried to get people in by using the producer. Is Man of Steel.
Oh, shots fired.
Terrible film. They used Christopher Nolan's bloody name, didn't they? In vain.
Yeah.
I feel like when they're not confident in the film, they just put the producers instead of...
My favourite one is from the studio that brought you.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That's brilliant.
Because you won't know, if we tell you your name, you're not going to know who he is. He's good.
Like, remember that film you really liked? Well, the guys who made that work in the same building as us.
Yeah, brilliant.
I like when Pixar does that because that implies people filter.
Well, I think that Pixar they're a relatively small company in comparison to big studios. So often there are people working on the same projects simultaneously, or it feels very collaborative
quality.
Yeah. Feels like they're all involved.
Yeah.
Even though they might not be, it feels like they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably multiple teams happening at once because they produce several films at once. Well, they used to. They didn't used to. Used to back, they just did one at a time. Everyone do this, everyone do that, everyone do that. But now they're bigger. They split up and do different things.
Be like 3 teams or something.
Generally. Yeah, because they've got Onward and Soul coming out. Well, Soul, I don't know when Soul's going to come out now. But it should be. It might be okay. Or has it been pushed? They were coming out within months of each other, so they must have multiple teams. working. Otherwise, that'd be impossible.
For 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. There's people. Credits are used in clever ways sometimes to draw people into a film they wouldn't ordinarily see.
Interestingly, Soul is still down to come out on the 19th of June by the looks of it.
Okay, well, 19th of June isn't it? It's sort of on the edge, sort of on the maybe pile, but we'll like to get pushed the closer we get to there.
November 20th.
Oh no!
I don't update.
Okay.
This is why you check multiple sources.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Most have been pushed back to like October, November, December.
Yeah. Approaching the holiday. Christmas is going to be like that period.
I think they're hoping to sort of redo summer blockbuster season as
in that then, because November's generally a quiet month.
Yeah,
you get like the Halloween-y films have already happened. What sort of like ending?
Disney animation at the end.
Yeah, it's usually throw one in or two. And depending if it's a Star Wars year, we're excited for Star Wars, which will be December, but that's not happening.
Yeah, well, so no year is a Star Wars year now.
No, they've abandoned that, I think.
After tomorrow, there's not really much. What's this?
Tomorrow is the release of Rise of Skywalker, isn't it?
Yep. They're releasing.
Do you mean today, Callum?
I mean today. Sorry,
today.
Today. Star Wars Day.
The last episode of Clone Wars.
Okay. Oh, of course, yeah. Apparently, there's like a big like things like not a plot hole, but like a mystery solved in the last episode about Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
apparently.
What? Just one mystery?
Just one of them. They don't want to do it all at once, Dave. They're going to sprinkle out their next few animated series. They're going to slowly say Rise of Skywalker did make sense. It makes sense after the fact.
They do need to do a show
that explains it.
I'm absolutely buzzing. I am absolutely buzzing not to watch that film.
I probably will do like we started just before the lockdown. We started as Star Wars. We did Phantom Menace and we paid for it on Amazon. And then we it took a time off, and now we've got all of them not for free, but we're paying $4.99 for them a month, so it's not as bad. So we probably are going to do a Star Wars complete chronological one. I tried to convince my partner to do the proper way of watching, but she wouldn't accept it.
Well, the trouble is, if you do the proper way of watching, you watch the 3 good ones, and then it's a real struggle.
Yeah, but you have to start off with the struggle. I don't know if it's easier to go into us in the middle when you're already halfway in. You're like, we might as well finish, or to start off with the struggle.
The worst thing about it is, you now always end with the worst one, no matter which way you watch it.
Attack of the Clones is still worse.
No.
At least I enjoyed Attack of the Clones once. I've never enjoyed Rise of Skywalker ever.
No, Attack of the Clones will forever be the worst. I wouldn't even put Rise of Skywalker second worst, personally. I quite liked it.
Conversation, haven't we? We've had this conversation.
Yeah, we did when it came out. Yeah. I'm the only one who liked it.
Yeah, my opinions have become ever more sour in the months since.
Well, the more people have hated it, the more I've started to like it.
Yeah, but you know, I can
completely
understand that.
Yeah, I'm trying to balance out the balance of the Force. I've tried to balance the Force.
Yeah,
by going.
I used to be the same way about the Matrix sequels, and then I rewatched them, and now I see what everyone was fucking talking about.
Yeah, terrible.
I'm probably going to end up watching Star Wars all of next week.
I mean,
see how bad it is after binge watch. So I think if you watch all 3 in one go, it'll be different to watching them 2 years apart.
Maybe.
I think it'll be worse.
Yeah, because number two really does like throw you for a loop a little bit, doesn't it?
And then
and then 3 tries to bring it back, and yeah.
Luckily, I've watched them so much and fast forward bad bits. Or just watch the Clone Wars instead of episodes 1 and
2. Did they just execute Order 66?
Yeah. Somebody's already working on a cut of the last arc of Clone Wars cut into episode 3.
Interesting.
Oh, speaking of Order 66, I finished Jedi Fallen Order.
Nice.
A weeks ago.
Nice.
Great game. Great.
It's good, isn't it? And that bit is good.
Yeah.
The Audio 66 bit of that game is pretty intense.
Yeah, that is. Yes. That's a good game. Enjoyed that.
The sequel's already in the pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's EA, so I don't trust them.
Mm.
The next one's gonna have microtransactions. It's gonna piss me off. Because it's EA, and they always do that.
I was
always ruin a good thing, EA.
I was constantly surprised that they didn't try and sell me Force points.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I was
like, that power looks really good.
This is a game that's contained and not.
I have skill points available. What is
this? I can't just cheat. Mental.
I earn them at a reasonable rate while playing the game. What is it?
Make the progress of the game natural and feel like you're actually learning. Wow.
It's mental.
I think they trust the studio because they made Apex Legends that was making them millions at the time. True. They went, okay, you guys can have full control.
Yeah, but once a company they own starts making money, they want to make more money and then start telling them to do stuff.
They've just done their final update of Battlefront 2.
Wow.
They added Scarif, and now it's not getting any other updates.
I have not played that game since I completed the campaign and played online a bit.
It's good.
Because I played online when online was a mess.
Yeah.
And it put me off for the rest of the time. I just didn't want to go back to it because it just put me off completely.
The trouble with a bad online experience is there are other better games around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can always just.
It's very difficult to really convince yourself to go back to something.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched anything else? Have they gone back in time, watched any old films or old series?
I've seen tons of old films.
Yeah, I've already watched loads of old shit, don't you worry.
Yeah.
I watched Vice 2 nights ago.
You watched
Vice.
Oh, okay.
Vice.
Oh, Vice. Yeah. Good film.
I think that's the second time in a year I've watched it. Just gone, what should I watch? Oh, look, Vice is on Prime. I'll watch that. It's a good film.
I saw What We Do in the Shadows, the film version, because I finished the TV series. Very good. Watched the film. I'd say better.
Oh, the film is better.
The film is.
I love the TV show.
I've not seen the
series,
but the film is amazing.
The series is more expansive.
Yeah.
And actually, like, weirdly, in some ways, has more plot.
Yeah.
Than the film. The film is sort of a collection of skits, and which makes the TV series seem to make more sense. But then the film the ending of the film wraps everything up really quite nicely.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And
but I think they
leave with this knowing grin on your face.
In terms of a TV show being made back as a film, they've done it the right way. They haven't remade the film. They haven't. They've just expanded the universe, which is the best way to make a TV show off the back of a film. They did it the correct way, which the people involved.
They took all of the really good elements, gave a lot of them their own episode, and
they did it. It's a well constructed TV show based on a very funny original concept. So it's good. And the second series is coming out in the next month, I think.
Oh, cool!
It's already out in America, already showing, but we get it a month later.
Nice.
So you'd never seen the film up to that point, then, David?
Nope.
Oh, man.
No, I'm seeing a lot of really good things now. I watched True Romance the other day.
Nice. Gary Oldman's best performance.
That film's mental.
Gary Oldman's best performance ever.
I love him in that. Yeah.
See,
he's not regarded as highly as he should be in terms of character acting.
No,
because he's very good at it.
Yeah,
some of his biggest roles he's not been that charactery. Like the things that people know him for are generally, apart from Darkest Hour, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of him in the 90s when he did fucking the villain in Leon and the villain in Fifth Element.
Those.
Fifth Element is man.
He's fucking brilliant.
He was Sid Vicious, wasn't he?
In Sid and Nancy,
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's been forgotten about that because of his appearances in the Batman films and other stuff. He's sort of been, I don't know, labelled as something he's not.
Yeah, agreed.
It's sad, but he's now going back. I think hopefully now after Darkest Hour, he might go back to a bit more nuance.
Yeah,
well, see, won't we?
Yeah, hopefully. I trust him.
Mm-hmm.
I trust him as a man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And even in Harry Potter, he was, I mean, that was a mixture between the two.
Yeah.
Well, he started off like crazy character, and then after that, it was like
very lovable.
Well, he has to be a normal person.
He's got to be normal now. His performance in Prisoner of Azkaban is incredible.
Oh yeah,
bonkers.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but we're rewatching the Harry Potter films.
Nice.
Third one is the best one, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So
by some distance, mate. By some distance, it's fucking fantastic.
It's not fair.
Why?
So we were right.
Why do I have to be so wrong about it for so long?
It's fucking fantastic.
I used to hate that film.
That's one of my favourite films of all time. I love that film.
Did you say it's your favourite film of all time?
One of.
Oh, one of.
Oh, okay. In my list of my favourite films, it is actually at the top because I just wrote them out as as I thought of them. But,
did you enjoy it when you first saw it though?
Yes. I came out of the cinema and went, "No, it's the best." And then I was so excited going into the fourth one and came out of that one disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it didn't live up to the third one for me.
It's completely different. Totally, completely different.
Still really good.
I think the fourth one would be better if the third one didn't happen.
Yeah.
The fourth one's fine.
The third one for me started what I view as the delinearization of the Harry Potter films. Like it completely breaks the mold that's been set up so nicely by the first two.
Well, it's the same in the books. The third one does take a big departure. It's the same. Does the same.
I never noticed that reading them.
No, I think I suppose in the book there's more information, therefore you're not as focused on it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's more the content that splits it up, but the delivery is still very much in the same vein.
Yeah.
And I certainly would have preferred a more gradual decline into darkness rather than this.
Well, no, things pick up a little bit towards the end. There's a dip with Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix. Then it goes up a little bit, then a little bit more, and then it goes down. Yeah, it's sort of.
Yeah, and then the final one comes along and fucks everything right up.
Yeah, but the final one's the final one. It's hard to. The final ones are hard. Endings are hard to do in a big franchise.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Mm-hmm.
I still,
especially when you split it into two films, which is a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Didn't need to do it because the part one is just them fucking about in a forest.
I like it. I like it.
I think that the split could have been done better.
Like, yeah. They said, there are lots of things they could have done better with the entire series.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
that's true.
I still have some incredibly hefty niggles about the final film.
No, I think
I think my least favorite moment in the whole franchise is when Voldemort's cape suddenly picks him up during the fight, and he's completely at his mercy at that point. He can't move his hands, can't move his legs. He's all there. He could have just killed him outright. You know what he does? He backhands him.
Yeah.
Backhands him across the
That's
face.
such a Ray Fiennes move. That's such a Ray Fiennes move. I think that was improvised. I think that was scripted. I think he improv that. Just he got back into Schindler's List mode and it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
No, bullshit. I'm going to write a whole list about bullshit moments in the Harry Potter.
Oh, no, there are. I think what happened with it is the people who were like in charge of each film sort of just wanted to make their own film. I think some of them lost their way in terms of like
definitely
the overall thing. And a lot of them just went, it's magic. I'm like, no, there's rules. There's rules to magic. It's not just magic. No, there's.
I think a lot of the time
established rules.
They were making so much money off of the franchise.
Yeah, I think whatever we do, we're going to be fine.
I think they chucked them out a little bit too quickly.
Yeah,
they wanted to. They wanted to do them while they had the actors.
It was hot.
Right ages. And,
yeah, that's fair enough.
They are making a third.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say they are actually making a third Fantastic Beast.
They are, yes.
I've been on the back stall for the last.
Apparently, they're going to make 5.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
Mm-hmm. I think my concern is, and has been for some time, and I think he's a very competent filmmaker, and the films he has made have been good, bar the Fantastic Beasts films that I don't really care about, is having David Yates direct so many of them.
Yeah.
It's like they got comfortable. I really like the idea of having a series of films where each film in this franchise has a different director, thus has a different voice, very much like how Mission Impossible did it.
And the MCU to an extent.
Sorry?
And the MCU to an extent.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I like that. But David Yates has now sort of solidified himself as the voice. And I don't think his voice is as interesting as some of the other voices.
It's not, his voice isn't being questioned by people. Everyone's just saying yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's going, yes, David, yes, David. No one's saying, no, what the
His
fuck?
His voice feels like the least controversial mix of everyone that came before.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed.
I think if they're going to, if the new Fantastic Beasts series is going to do any good going forward, they need a new vision.
New voice,
They need to hire like Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, they need to make it fucking really weird.
Choice.
You've got Fantastic Beasts, make them fucking weird. They started in the first one. I thought, oh, this could potentially be quite cool. They've got like interesting creatures, and the second one, they didn't really give a shit about any of the beasts. The beasts aren't important.
Yeah, the second one was.
It's not the rhino.
The rhino bit's vaguely entertaining.
The rhino bit is.
And the Niffler's funny, but that's all comedic relief. That's fine.
I love the Sniffler.
Yeah, the Sniffler's great.
It's just rubbish. The film doesn't take off. There's no plot for a film that has no interesting, not really many interesting visuals. It also doesn't have much interesting plot.
Yeah, the thing is, they've like tried to introduce plot over 2 films.
Yeah,
and it's not
the
really.
The second one was just to put the one line at the end.
Yeah, that was the whole point of it.
They've taken too long to introduce any interesting amount of plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they should have sprinkled it in a more.
Yeah, I don't think it helps that Steve Kloves isn't writing them anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, is it J.K. Rowling that's writing the screenplays?
Yep.
I don't think
she can't write screenplays. She can't write screenplays.
Terrible choice.
She can't write screenplays.
Spending too much time trying to explain too much stuff of the originals and adding too much lore, and focusing less on interesting new ideas.
Story that's happening there and then.
Yeah.
We want to interested about that.
She's
doing a prequel series. She's doing a George Lucas.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. If you don't have people there to say no, then
again, no one's saying no to J.K. Rowling. Let's be honest. No one's going, no, you can't. She's like, no, I will pay and I will do it.
Imagine somebody questioning her and she's like, how much money have I made?
How
much money have you made? That's what
Which I don't blame her. I'd probably be the same. I don't know if I'd, that amount of money would probably
If I'd made that much money, I'd move on and try and do something different. No.
But she has tried. She has released other books.
Yeah.
Just under a different name.
I feel like she should have done that more though, rather than going back.
Yeah. Otherwise, you become known for that one thing. I mean, look at George Lucas, for example. Did a bunch of other things, but
he did do a bunch of other things. Yeah.
He's only known for Star Wars, though.
Did Willow? Fucking Willow. Oh, love Willow.
Dark.
Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
A
lot of stuff. Yeah.
He did do it. It was good.
113.
Yeah.
American Graffiti.
That was pre-Star Wars, though, wasn't it?
That was, as was THX.
Still counts.
Yeah. Still count? No, definitely still count.
I have been on the hunt for a good weepy. A weepy. And my journey has taken me many places. And basically, I think it's just because it's such everything's so mundane at the moment. There's nothing.
You're looking for emotional stimulus.
Basically, there's nothing that's been happening that's particularly exciting. There's nothing that's happening that's been particularly depressing. So I have to look into movies to give me that emotion. So I've been looking for a weepy, and I've watched a few films. I watched the film Me Before You the other day, which I've never seen.
Okay.
And it was good. It was fine. It was exactly the kind of film you would expect it to be. Didn't really hit me though. There's like a couple of lines at the end that made me kind of go, oh yeah, that's kind of emotional. And then I watched the film Mommy, the French Canadian film by Xavier Dolan, which the first time I saw it literally tore my heart out. So I was like, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. And again, I think maybe because I knew what was happening. I knew coming, it didn't affect me so much. But last night, baby, I watched for the second time. I have seen it before. I watched The Fault in Our Stars, and I tell you what, it fucked me up. It's really good. It's really good.
So is that?
I didn't like it.
There's something wrong with me because
I hated it.
Me emotionally.
I
think it's a good film, but I didn't.
I found it very saccharine.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's Ansel Elgort all the way. the whole
like
time
him.
I'm sat there, I'm thinking to myself, this film only really works. Everything else is very, very straightforward and basic. But Ansel Elgort elevates it in such a way that I was just like, God, like I'm so invested in him. And then when the inevitable happens, I was just like, oh God, absolutely tore my heart out. So if anyone has any other recommendations for Weepies, I'll be up for it because I want to watch some more. I'm gonna maybe watch Never Let Me Go later, which is gonna kill me as well. Any other recommendations?
It's not really my thing.
The majority of my Weepies are more like good Weepy normally, like
or it's a moment in a film that's not really a Weepy. It's just a particular moment.
I don't really watch things to be depressed.
Yeah.
I happy cry more than I sad cry.
Yeah.
I do as well. But I do enjoy a sad cry.
I can't think of any.
The other day, and that hit me a few times.
Any good Weepies off my head?
It's got to be Inside Out for me.
Interstellar, what a Weepy that is.
Full on Weepy.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin.
That makes me cry.
Yeah,
a lot.
Actually, to be fair, there are moments in the Batman trilogy that make me cry.
Yeah, no, that's it's.
Yeah.
I don't really watch. I can't think of any.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
When was the last time you cried? I cried a bit at Onward, in fairness.
No, I did cry. Yeah, Pixar gets me.
Pixar, yeah. Just watch the Coco.
But I don't know.
Coco, man.
Films that set themselves out to be Weepies, I always like. Knowing that it's going to be a Weepy, I always go in with a very critical head.
Yeah, I just.
Whereas I prefer films that like surprise you with that rather than go, you're going to cry. I'm like, oh, I don't.
Of course, yeah. I think.
Don't tell me what I'm going to feel.
there is a pornographic element to Weepies. Obviously, they fantasize the emotional element. But if you let it take you,
I just can't do that.
It can work very well.
I'm too cynical.
You're too beautiful.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm past that. I'm past emotion.
I didn't like it, but a pretty good Weepy last couple of years was Star Is Born.
I love Star Is Born.
Yeah, Callum cried at that a lot.
Yeah. It to this day, if I think of what my favourite edit is, it's the end of Star Is Born. Because the second that edit happens, I cry every time.
Yeah, again, that one, it doesn't set itself out to be a Weepy necessarily. It's got elements of it, but it's not. It wasn't billed as that. It was billed as like a music film, basically. Yeah. Billed as let's watch some people play music. He's got a massive moustache.
Callum, The Farewell. There you go.
The Farewell, yeah.
Oh, The Farewell, yeah.
Yeah,
Farewell. That's your Weepy. That's your Weepy.
That's a brilliant one.
Notebook.
Yeah, Notebook never really got me, surprisingly.
No, it's a bit.
Subject matter.
That's the archetypal fuck off, don't tell me how to feel.
What about Marley and Me?
I cried at that.
Terrible.
I just
Cats versus dogs.
Too much. Cats versus dogs. Tears.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolute tears. To be fair, the film starts with a boy getting his dog kidnapped. That's pretty sad.
If I was to watch a dog death scene, I would watch the one in Derek over the one in Marley and Me.
That's very true.
For emotion.
I'll give you that.
What about Frozen 2? Is that a Weepy film?
No.
I haven't seen it.
A lot of kids cried when I was.
Yeah, kids cry anything.
Yeah, Sam. A film actually has to be good. Prior to.
Kids cry when someone
doesn't. It's not even out here, is it?
Nah.
Well,
I haven't
seen it. Yeah.
Well,
that's also a good film to cry at.
We are just talking now. You realise?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's very little.
Good. As long as we're all aware that this is going out in public.
Yeah.
Very little stuff.
Just reminding everyone.
To talk about from the last month, so we have to advise a fair bit.
Yeah, exactly. We have to.
We've got to fill the space somehow.
Reconsider how we talk about film now, because it's not just all new stuff.
Yeah, now it's all. Remember when we were able to go and sit in a darkened room and cry?
You can do that now. You just have to leave the house.
No,
I did that at least once a week. I would cry in that dark room. At least once a week, I would be crying in that dark room.
Then you go home and do something else in a different dark room.
Yeah.
The dedication on display when Tom Cruise breaks his ankle is enough to make anyone cry. He got up and he carried on. He carried on.
He better do. He's getting paid far too much money. Yeah.
What a trooper.
If you didn't, I'd be like, fucking hell, Tom, come on. You're not down a mine. Fucking cheer up.
But
I was going to say, I finally watched Missing Link.
Okay. How was it for you?
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's no Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, though, is it? Though.
No.
And that's another week.
It's a shame because that was actually one of the biggest money losses of last year. I think it was number 3 in terms of money loss. I can't remember what number 1 was now. Yeah, Missing Link was number 3.
Yeah, Cats was.
Yeah,
it probably was.
Missing Link lost $103 million, I think.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix is probably up there, isn't it?
Oh no, Dark Phoenix is number 1.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix was number 1. Yeah.
Deservedly so.
Yep.
Rubbish.
Bad.
It's a shame that Missing Link is up there because that's actually a good.
Deserves to be better. It just came. I think it was its release. It was poorly timed, poorly advertised. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's difficult to get kids on board with stop motion animation now
when they've got the beauty of Pixar.
3D animation has become so good.
Yep.
Like,
they don't sit there and appreciate the work done, do they? They don't sit there and go, imagine having to do that. They're like, no, colour, please.
Computers are so good now that they even replicate the stop motion look aesthetic sometimes. Like that new film, The Willoughbys, on Netflix that Ricky Gervais has produced. It looks like, I thought it was stop motion, and then I looked it up and it was CGI.
Yeah. Well, even things like the Lego Movie as well.
Yeah.
That's
Why go through the pain and terror of doing stop motion when you can just replicate it on a computer for half the time?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I understand. I understand that. If you can make something look the same and not put the work in, I mean, in an industry that is like time is money, it's sort of a thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I can see why that's happened. As sad as it is, it makes sense.
Well, I think we've reached
I think we covered everything. I think we covered everything in that conversation.
Well,
no stone left unturned.
What can we say? If I don't know. That's good. Well done. Well done,
April, for happening.
Yeah.
Did it even happen? Who knows?
I don't know. I've got suspicions April didn't actually happen this year. I've got suspicions.
The entirety of April was just one big fool's Yeah.
On the 1st of May, I did turn and say to Leanne, I haven't seen any April Fool's jokes today.
Of course you did. Brilliant. Of course you did.
Coming up, Ryan and I found a hard drive. I found a hard drive that contained some very, very, very old videos that Ryan and I made. So I called Ryan the other day and was like, watch this. And we recorded our reaction to this old video. So
they will be coming out
if that works.
In the coming week, hopefully.
And then what are we going to do next, guys? What's going to be the next upcoming?
Yeah. What's the next episode?
Who knows?
Let's tease it now. Let's come up with it right now.
Yeah, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be?
We've been floating around this idea of talking about great cinematic moments.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do that.
We'll establish what that's going to be exactly.
Yep, think of
and we'll do it. But that is so. Just sit on those words. Great cinematic moments. That's what it's going to be about. That's your teaser.
We'll probably split it by the emotion that these moments make you feel, whether it's exciting,
which we started doing today,
sad or funny or something like that.
Our conversations always divulge into that topic.
Yeah, but now it's going to be structured.
It's going to be controlled. This is when you talk about this.
I think structure works very well for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not often
we need.
I wonder if there's a fair license to show these scenes via screen share.
It's possible. We won't make any money, but we can do it. There you go.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, we
don't make any money anyway, so it's fine.
Exactly. I think that might be a good shout. I think everyone should have a scene prepared that they want to show and that we all talk about, and we all screen share our scene and explain why it's so great, and have a discussion. I think that would be a really
bad idea.
Maybe I'll show this 17-minute long take from Extra.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
That'll fill the time.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a good shout. I think.
All right, then.
All righty.
We'll do that.
Lovely.
Next week.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, the cat just jumped off my chair and shat me up.
All right, love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of whatever we've been doing here at Rap Party HQ. We'd like to thank Sam Sargent for supplying the score. To hear the full tracks and more music of the same ilk, feel free to head to soundcloud.com/Sam Sargent and tell him Rap Party sent you, preferably not at gunpoint. While on the internet, it'd help us out if you liked us on Facebook, followed us on Twitter, and kept an eye out for further episodes. Thanks once again for listening, and that's a wrap.